So throughout this video, you're only going to see one raid battle, and that's because it perfectly personifies pretty much every reason why people have started to lose interest in it. So everyone wanted the raids back. They brought the raid back. PyCon, everyone just went through PyCon. I wasn't surprised that we didn't finish it. That was a lot of health, but yeah, people were all into it. People were playing it, and then Vegeta came out, and Vegeta started out like really good. People were playing it, and then right around like the last 24 hours, people just stopped. And then with Kaioken Goku, literally no one's playing it. So what happened? What happened to this thing that everyone wanted back? And people did do a lot of, for the first half, not even like the first quarter of it, first like 2/5. And then just it completely fell off. I do personally believe that one of the contributing factors is the fact that this raid is happening during the week. I feel like the raids would be better placed as weekend things. So every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday, there's a single raid boss, and you've got the weekend to beat it. I do think you would see a lot more people playing the raid at that point. Because, I mean, believe it or not, the majority of the Dragon Ball Legends and Dragon Ball game and player bases in general, most of them are, the vast majority are adults. Because let's be honest, most people who play and watch Dragon Ball now are people who grew up with it. So people have jobs. They can't, just dedicate all the time in the world to Dragon Ball Legends. They can make time for one raid, but it's kind of hard to make time for 4. So I do think that's one of the contributing factors, but I don't think it's the biggest reason. I think the actual big reasons why people have lost interest in the raid is because, yeah, the rewards are amazing, and usually the raid boss isn't as, stupid as the co-op bosses, but at the end of the day, it is still co-op. At the end of the day, the raid is just easy co-op with better rewards. And it was never the concept of co-op that people hated. It was never, co-op itself that people have always had issue with. It's always been the people you run into while playing it. And the fact that far more often than not, you run into people who have no business playing it. People who are using type disadvantage units, or have no equips, or they're not even soul boosted, or have terrible bench, or what have you. You got people who DC. While I was trying to do my daily rewards for today, I had someone not guess the Rising Rush. So like the raid boss had Rising Rush to my partner, knowing damn well that he wouldn't have taken any more than maybe 300k from that Rising Rush, and he had full health. He DC'd the instant the Rising Rush wasn't guessed. And it's like, really? You literally would have taken no damage from that. Not to mention the fact that sometimes people just DC at the start because why not? People take forever to load in. As you saw at the beginning of the video, sometimes it takes a really long time just to find someone to play with. There's just a lot of contributing factors that made co-op so hated to begin with. And the main issue is the people. Honestly, co-op in Dragon Ball Legends just simply doesn't work because the people you run into are almost never the people you need to be running into. And it's kind of sad because Dragon Ball Legends should lend itself well to co-op. And again, the concept of it is fine. You have this boss, he's got a lot of health, he's got a shield, you gotta break the shield, you gotta kill him. That's fine. That's fine. The concept is fine. But you can't coordinate with people. The few people that don't DC and don't have garbage units, you can never coordinate with them. The game actively rewards you for those dual Rising Rushes. They do significantly more than 2 separate Rising Rushes. So the game obviously wants you to be able to do those. But how are you supposed to coordinate with people if there's no way of knowing that your partner has a Rising Rush? There should be an icon on the screen that pops up above your partner that, flashes and says, hey, their Rising Rush is ready. or, you know, what have you. I don't care what you do to make it known, but there should be a way for your partner to know you have a Rising Rush or don't. And it keeps people from, you know, being in situations where they do have a Rising Rush, but because they don't know you have a Rising Rush, you know, they're using arts cards, you pop your Rising, and then you're in a situation where the instant your Rising ends, theirs begins because they tried. And it's just, there's so many different reasons why co-op failed. Because let's be honest, co-op, I think we can all agree that if there wasn't Z-Power in the dual coin shop, I don't think anyone would ever do co-op. I think we can, you know, safely say that hyperdimensional co-op is a failure. But it's not because of the event. Again, it's because of the players. And the raid is no different. The raid, again, it's the same thing, just with better rewards. And truthfully, because, you know, everyone has access to this thing, you actually end up running into people who have no business playing it more often, because at least with co-op, I believe you have to be a certain Z level just to unlock the ability to play it in the first place. So you need someone maxed out. Like the odds of you running into someone who's, you know, just plain stupid is still pretty high. But at least there are some requirements. The raid, you just have to have the damn game downloaded. Have a single character, and there you go. You can play the raid. And it's just, there should be some form of requirement. First of all, there should be a requirement that the unit that you're taking into battle should have to be level 5,000 and fully soul boosted in order, and you must have equipment on it in order for you to even enter co-op or raids. That should have always been a requirement. I don't know why they didn't make it one. But even if you did that, there's still the Rising Rush problem, there's the DC problem. In normal co-op, the advanced raid bosses are more often than not just completely unfair. It's just, did the raid fail because the raid did something wrong? No, they did the raid perfectly fine. I don't think you could have asked for a better raid. There was 4 of them in a row, and the exchange shop is phenomenal. And the rewards you get for playing it normally are amazing. But it's so impossible to play because there's no way to coordinate with people. And the game actively punishes you for playing with friends, because if you want to get the bonus, like the entire bonus for the 3 daily bonuses, you have to be playing with a random. If you play with a friend, you only get half of that. So the game actively punishes you for playing with a friend, but playing with a friend is the only way to play the damn thing. If they're not DCing on you, you're just losing because they came up with level 2,000 units. And then, you know, 1 out of every 5 that you do, you'll run into someone who's competent and knows what they're doing, and hell, probably has more stars on their unit than you. But it's just, it's a shame, honestly, because I really like the raid, but even I lost interest. I can't even get through my daily bonuses without wanting to chuck my phone at the wall. And it sucks. It really does, because the raid is so good. And the fact that people lost interest so quickly, it makes me afraid that Bandai is going to see that, the fact that we lost interest quickly, and they're not going to do this again. And that's, again, that sucks. The exchange shop was great. The raid itself was great. The rewards were great. It's just the bad players that are ruining the entire concept. I don't know. Did the raid fail? Yes, the raid failed, but not because Bandai did anything wrong. Just like with co-op, Bandai is not even at fault for this. It's the player base and their inability to look at the goddamn screen. On top of people being stupid, sometimes they'll bring units with no equip, they're level 2,000, and they use the Rising Rush during the shield. It's just stupid people that have ruined things like co-op and the raids, when these things could be fun if Bandai were to implement just a few things like the ability to know if your partner has Rising Rush. Preferably, they should also make it so that dual Rising Rush overrides anything that you're doing. So if you're in the middle of an arts card or charging, if you hit that blue Rising Rush button, it should override whatever you're doing. They should definitely implement that. But in terms of Bandai, I'd say those are the only two things that they need to do to make it better. Everything past that point is up to the player base. Yes, they could also add the level soul boost and equipment requirements. So that's three things. Three things Bandai could do to make it better. But even still, you're still gonna have stupid ass people that bring type disadvantaged units. Or, you know, just straight bad ones. So it's a shame. It's a shame that cooperative play as a whole, whether it's hyperdimensional co-op, the raids, whatever, online play in general, PvP, raids, hyperdimensional co-op, online play in Dragon Ball Legends is a failure because of the players. Honestly, it's the players' fault that PvP is unbearable because they never use anything but Vegito Blue. It's the players' fault that the raids and co-op are unbearable because they always bring stupid-ass units. Yes, there are changes Bandai could make to all three of these things, but outside of, you know, minor changes, there's nothing they can do. It's up to us to make these things good, and we're not doing that great a job of it. So, I think that's pretty much it of me almost reiterating myself 10 times. I really wanted this to be successful, but again, even I lost interest. I do my dailies. If I can get one of my friends to do it with me, I'll do it for about 30 minutes and then I'm done. It's just, it is worth it, but at the same time, it's not. It's worth it to do it with a friend. It's not worth it to do it with randoms. I don't know. By the time you see this video, I think definitely the raids will be done. So that's why I'm making the video like this. Obviously, this was recorded when Super Kaioken Goku was the raid boss. But by the time you see it, the raids are completely done. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this video, do make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you agree with anything I said in this video, do make sure to let me know. Let me know your guys' personal experience with the raid so far. And, yeah, I will see all of you inmates back here at the asylum for the next video. Peace.